Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of The North Stand with me, Sam Blacklock, as we have the latest sporting news from around the North East. Plus, we hear from our guest panel ahead of this weekend's sporting action. And we have an exclusive interview with the Teesside University women's netball team following their league win on Wednesday. But we start with the latest news from around the North East. Sunderland Football Club this week announced they've reduced season ticket prices ahead of next season. The Black Cats freezing prices until 2021. Adult renewal ticket prices now start at £310, while those under the age of 22 will pay just £80. According to official figures, the average attendance has dropped by almost a third, from over 41,000 last season to just 27 this. Maybe the reduction in season ticket prices will see the Stadium Alight full again next season. Now, Newcastle United aren't in Premier League action this weekend, with the Magpies jetting off to Spain for a 4-day training camp. While in Spain, Rafa Benitez's side will face Belgium side Royal Antwerp in a friendly game at the Pinata Arena on Sunday. The friendly will be split into 3 periods of 45 minutes, and supporters can attend the fixture for just €5. For more information, please check out the Pinata Arena website. And
Welcome back to the North Stand for me, Tommy Longworth. Panel time now with our guests Jake Self, Carus Noble, Luke Beaumont. Starting with Newcastle United, no game this weekend for their FA Cup fixture clash with Spurs, but 3-0 victory at home at Southampton at the weekend. Just what I wanted, Jake?
It's a massive win, 6 points of that, and to be fair to him, you've got it. You've got your 3 points. I didn't think you'd win it. I'm always backing against Newcastle to lose, but Kennedy's popped up, got 2 goals, and Matt Ritchie's got another, and that's it. 3 points closer to staying up.
Yep. It was just such a poor performance from Southampton though. You'd think they'd have more drive to stay up in this division. They've a lot of problems with the manager and the board at the moment, and you just think they're not going to stay up. So I don't know if it was Newcastle being good or Southampton playing power, to be honest. But
yeah, it was huge. To stay up in the Premier League, there's 2 things. You've got to win your home games, and you've got to beat the teams around you, and that's what Newcastle did, convincingly as well. And I think that's probably put the final nail in the coffin for Southampton. I think they'll go down with West Brom, and appointing Mark Hughes has just confirmed that for me.
No game now for Newcastle for 2 weeks. Is that a good or a bad thing?
I think it depends how you look at it. You've got the chance now to go and train. I think they're going away to Spain, aren't they, for a few days?
Yeah.
That's good. It can get team morale up and can go on from there. But at the same time, you're stopping that momentum. It's a massive 3 points. You can carry on going and build on that. But it's one of them. It's how you look at it from a fan perspective.
yeah, exactly. You're saying it is good to get a break and get clear the heads and everything, but they've just beaten the relegation rival there 3-0, and you really want to continue that form. You don't want to be having a break and going off on holiday, and you just want to get straight back into the action.
I see that as well, but I also see that they've earned a break as well. But obviously, going to Spain for a few days as well, that's going to help.
No sign of Lascelles or Shelby in the England squad. How done by?
Definitely, I think Lascelles should 100% be in there. You only have to look at his record this season when he actually plays for Newcastle. You've got it's unbelievable. I think he should be in there over Mawson. I'm not saying Mawson's a bad player, but Lascelles is just 10 times better. And same again with Shelby. You look at that, he should be in there. His form recently deserves a call up. I know he's been a bit hit and miss sometimes this season, but recently, he should be picking players on form. So if it means dropping a striker like Welbeck and putting an extra midfielder in, it should be done. So yeah.
Is that seriously? Why is that serious? Come on, Marston's better than Lascelles.
He just isn't.
If you look at the stats,
yeah, if you look at the stats, Lascelles is so much better.
What stats? Come on.
Well, literally, you can tell it now. If you look, there's something like when Newcastle have played with Lascelles, the win record's something like 40-odd%, which is good for them. They win most of their games when Lascelles play.
Did you not see Swans last week at Huddersfield? 80% possession for the home side, 100 shots.
Well, they are.
100 shots, definitely.
Down to 10 men
but
in 9 minutes.
They went down 10 men. They changed the tactics completely. They went completely defensive. So you're playing with 10 men. It's an obvious disadvantage. You're not going to get.
If you play defensive and keeping that 0-0, and you've got a good defence, haven't you?
Obviously, we'll have to look and find out what Southgate can decide in the summer as well. You know what I mean? Still got Premier League games left to play, so all to fight for the England squad in the summer. Moving on to Middlesbrough anyway now. 3-1 victory against Barnsley last weekend. Borough flying at the moment, aren't they, Jake?
Oh, we're doing really well. I think that's three wins on the bounce, is it now? I'm beating them 4. They can go down at the weekend to Brentford and hopefully get 3 points. It's just good to see him because you've got players like Traore. There's certainly someone on this panel has been quite critical of him recently, and he's now got himself a Spain call-up, under-21 Spain call-up. You know, you can't be that bad or inconsistent if you're going to be in the national team for Spain. So.
And you think about Traore, you've got to thank this man as well. He's really turned up since Gestede got injured. He has really, really put himself forward and made himself the striker that we need, the striker that we paid a Sambalonga to be honest. He's really stepped it up. If you play him on the wing, he's not going to get goals. You play him up front, he is going to get goals, and he's proven that.
Yeah. I've been saying for a while that to get in the playoffs, they just need to win a few games on the bounce, and they've finally done it. And they're in the playoffs, and I can't see them not finishing in the top 6 now. The other teams behind them, like Preston, Sheffield United, Bristol City, I don't see them strong enough to put a run together in the final stretch.
Well, even then, like Derby as well, down poor form.
That's
only 1 point behind 5th, you know, win at the weekend and they drop points again, that's it.
Borough now should be aiming for like 4th, 5th instead of 6th now. Push on.
Again, if Bamford can keep scoring and Traore can keep playing, there's no reason why they can't do it.
If they get in the playoffs, there's only one team that I really can see as challenging, and that's Villa. That's a team I don't want to play, so I'd like to see us finish 5th, because they're going to finish 3rd.
What about Fulham though?
I think we could do Fulham.
Yeah,
Fulham are the strongest side in the top 6, 100%.
Yeah.
By a mile. Got a better squad, better manager.
I just think going forward, we've definitely got it to take them. We can take it to them. And we played them at the Riverside, and people are banging on about Ryan Sessegnon. Adama Traore made him look like a child. He absolutely.
To be fair, that's one game. Look at the rest of the season. He's literally been the best.
But it's one game against the team that we're talking about, so
they still beat you.
I'm just talking about. Okay.
Well, it's going to be very, very interesting end of the season in the Championship, isn't it? All the fight for at the top there. Moving on anyway now. Hartlepool, things are still not sorted off the pitch. How does that impact things on the pitch, Jake?
Well, it doesn't help at all. Like you say, look at the recent form again. They're doing quite poorly. Just hoping they can get taken over. You know, Jeff Stelling has put some money in, but the only worry for them is that the old Darlington owner, who the crook has basically said he's going to help him out, and Hartlepool fans aren't happy about that. So just got to wait and see how it goes. But fingers crossed they can actually get it sorted and improve on the pitch.
In terms of our playing on the pitch, they're not delivering performances, and with all that's going on behind the scenes, confidence, it's got to be low. I wouldn't want to be a Darlington Hartlepool player at this moment in time. I just can't see them pulling off any miraculous result, really.
Without winning 4, having just kind of above the relegation zone at the minute, so what have you got to do now to survive?
Just try and see the season out, try and finish above that drop zone and just get ready for next season. I think the main thing is off the pitch with the ownership. Basically, they need to be careful who they sell it to and make sure it's the right person, because we've all seen before with Darlow that if you sell it to the wrong person, it can end badly. It'd be sad to see a club like Hartlepool, you know, in a huge problem.
Well, we hope the best of luck for Hartlepool in the season now. Trip to 5 at the weekend. Can the Pools get 3 points?
Can't really see it, to be honest.
Good
I really
side
can't see
final,
it. Yeah. I mean, they're just not delivering on the pitch, and I can't see it. Friday aren't rubbish, so.
Again, like it's one of them. They're on that bad momentum. It's the opposite. You know, you can be in a good run like Borough, getting the wins, but when you're like Hartlepool, you don't know where the next win's going to come from. So no, I can't see them getting anything again.
Moving on to Darlington now. 4 wins last 6 has left their mid-table. Season a little bit over, Jake?
Yeah, it is. They've just got to look to next season. I mean, they've opened up the new stands, so hopefully start getting a few more faces through the door. But it's just unfortunate, you know, because last season they could have gone up, but obviously not having the right capacity, they couldn't do it. But yeah, they've just got to get their heads down, and then take some good momentum into next season, and hopefully build on from there.
I mean, it's not a poor season. I mean, in them types of divisions, you could be in the playoffs, and the next season you could be bottom table. But it just must be a bit gutting that knowing that you probably could have pushed for it this season and gone up. But it's still not a poor season. You can build on that for next season. I think now it's just trying to get the results to go into next season.
Yeah, like them two said, it's just building for next season, really. They've got the new stand, and that's all right going forward, but it's just one of them seasons. Not going to go down, not going to go up. It's just see a season out and get ready for next season.
We've got a look at Sunderland as well. Very, very poor state of affairs going on there at the minute. Attendance is obviously down. They're going to close the kind of upper stand, sitting bottom of the Championship. So what happens now?
You don't know. It's one of them. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I think they're gonna go down at this rate, because again they're another one they're losing all the time. They're losing week in, week out. They're not going to. They don't know where the next win's coming from them. You know, they've closed down this new stand that's really annoyed supporters as well. You know, they're having to relocate. It's just an absolute joke, that club at the moment. You know, no one wants to buy it because, you know, if you're a businessman, how are you looking at Sunderland and thinking, I'm going to make money from this? Because you're just not. Honestly, it's one of them. I feel sorry for the fans, you know, but as a club, they're poorly run. They've not got the players. They've not spent the money in the right areas. Yeah, it's one of them. Unfortunately, they'll be going down.
It's been coming though. Like it's like in the Premier League when they stayed up, they relied on other teams' results, and they could have went down about 4 or 5 times, but they relied on other teams slipping up. In the same way this season, if they're going to stay up, they're going to have to rely on other teams slipping up, and you got to be sick of it. Like this has been coming for a long time, and Sunderland fans have seen it as well, but they're still going each and every week. Well, not as much now, but they did in the Premier League to show that they still care for the club, and it is a shame for Sunderland fans, but it's just been coming. Everyone around in the North East could say that's been coming.
It's sad to see Sunderland in the position they're in now. Like, they're going to be the next Portsmouth for me. Like, I can see them going down again and being in like the bottom division. But yeah, it has been coming.
I mean, they've been in a cup final, 2014. I mean, they lost. They got beat 3-1, but that's just the height they got to. They got to a final, and they beat big teams on the way there. They beat Man United, and they beat Chelsea, I think, to get to that final. And then you just look at them now; they'll struggle to get a point away at Burton. So
that's the thing. It's just the fact that you ask a Sunderland fan last season, could you imagine finishing below Burton Albion in the Championship? They honestly, even then, they would have laughed at you. And it's like the fact that they are going to finish below Burton Albion.
They're just not prepared well. Like when Newcastle go down, they went down twice to the Championship and went straight back up because they prepared well. They bought players like who were gonna, and they kept the majority of the squad as well, which helps. And
I think a lot of it is that Sunderland got rid of a world class, and I do think he's a world class goalkeeper, Pickford, or eventually will be, and replaced them. Even Manone replaced them with Lee Camp and Jason Steele and Brutier. Rubbish, not good enough, just not good enough. Those 3 goalkeepers aren't as good as Pickford.
And they've
together.
They've put their survival hopes on a League One striker in Ashley Fletcher.
Yeah. So it's just they're not going to stay
John
up.
O'Shea, how old is he now as well?
He should have retired about 4 seasons ago. So there's not a lot of hope there, and it doesn't help that you've got someone like that controlling the club because it's just. Yeah. There's no future in that. He needs to sell. He won't sell because he sees it as money. But if you're a fan, you're hoping.
I think they just got an injury to Williams, the Welsh. Yeah. I think he's been one of their key players, so that's another disaster for them.
Yeah. If they do go down, Chris Coleman, do you think he'll stay? Is he the right man to bring them back up to the Championship?
It's a tough one because obviously he did so well for Wales, but club level, even then, when he was at Fulham, he didn't really do much at club level then. Maybe he literally is just an international manager. You know, I mean, obviously he is at Sunderland and he hasn't got the resources. Maybe would do better at another club. But you know, you look at it and you go, he's taken them down.
He's really damaged his CV now. Like taking Wales to semi-finals of the Euros, like that was massive, and it could have got him a really good job, but he's left the wrong job basically. And anyone else from the outside could see that was not a job worth taking. No.
But to be fair, since he's joined Sunderland, they've been look better going forward. They're still defensively, it's poor. I mean, they scored 3 goals against Borough, and ever since then they do generally score games. I know they didn't score last week, but it was just a very poor performance.
It's the thing that, like you say, they look better going forward, but they look worse at the back.
Defensively,
you can't say they've improved. The fact that when he took over, I think were they just outside the relegation zone?
I think so.
And now they're bottom.
It's just that glimmer of hope that in the Championship you need goals, and they will get goals, but they can't keep them out. If you can't keep them out, then again you're relying on the other team being efficient, and again they're relying on other teams slipping up.
Bleak times there at Sunderland, but you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens in the season. Now over to Jake, who tells us the latest happenings at Dalton FC.
A group of non-league football fans who began raising money to save their football club over 6 years ago have just hit the £1 million mark on their mission. Darlington FC is now a supporter-run club, and the fans have been raising money since the club entered administration in January 2012. During a breakdown of the 1 million raised, it shows that a huge 200,000 was raised in the first 6 months of the club being supporter-owned and ran. Last weekend, Darlington beat Curzon Ashton 1-0 on what was a memorable weekend for the club, as they were finally able to play in front of their fans in their new stand. I went down to Darlington this week and spoke with a few players about the new stand and what it means to the club. Last season, couldn't go up because of not having the extra stand in the playoffs. You're looking forward to finally seeing that stand up and having a few faces through the door.
Yeah, totally. I mean, last year was a bit of a kick in the teeth, especially the season we had. We just got promoted. And the finish in the playoffs was a massive achievement. You know, it was a tough league to come into. And then when we heard the news, everyone was deflated, we were gutted. But I feel like if we get a stand up, and then we start again next year, stay in the league, start again next year, and then there's no reason why we can't get the playoffs. So.
Yeah, it'd just be nice, obviously, at the minute to stand around the fence and whatnot. So I think to put a few more buddies in our stand would create a bit more of an atmosphere, you know. I think that the club's put a good offer on for the kids and stuff like that, so hopefully we get a few buddies there.
There'll be a few extra numbers there, hopefully, because performances are picked up as well. That obviously gets more people in, but I mean, it's good to have the stand there. It was unfortunate that we couldn't have it there last year because we finished in the playoffs, and had it been there, would have played the playoff games. But yeah, it's a good thing the club's moving forward, and hopefully it increases the numbers turning up each week.
Thanks, Jake. Now what predictions? Brentford against Middlesbrough.
2-0 Borough, Bamford and Trial.
I think another 3-1 for the Borough.
Yeah, I'm going to say 3-1 as well. I think Bamford will carry on that scoring streak.
Fight against Hartlepool, Jake.
2-0 Flied.
4-1. It's just utter embarrassment at Hartlepool now.
3-1 again. I think Fylde was too strong for Hartlepool.
Darlington against Ferriby.
I think they'll win this one 1-0.
Yeah, I think 2-0 Darlington, to be honest, this one.
Yeah, 1-0 Dal.
Sunderland against Preston.
4-0 Preston.
There's still no chance for Sunderland here, I'm sorry. It's 3-1.
3-2 Preston.
And Bromley against Gateshead, actually.
Well, it's a big game for Gateshead, so I think we'll go for the North East team. We'll go 2-0 Gateshead.
I'd love to go for the North East team, but Bromley, I think they're just a bit too good for us at 1-0.
Yeah, I agree. 2-1 Bromley.
That's all we have time for on panel time. Big thank you to our guests Jake Self, Carlos Noble and Luke Beaumont. Back to Sam in the studio. Thank you.
It was league glory for the Teesside University women's netball team as they were victorious in the Bucks Northern 7B division on Wednesday. The league win was confirmed with a victory over Hull. Our reporter Andy Hayes went down to see the girls in action.
Today we are here at Teesside's Olympia building for the women's netball team as they look to finish on a high by defeating opponents Hull University. After already cementing their spot for the championship, Captain Charlotte Barron tells their thoughts on the success and the build-up towards this year's Tees Weir varsity.
Deja vu performances continued for the netball side, as this fixture just felt routine for the players, never failing to go behind to Hull and dominating the game in every quarter. Teesside's goalkeeper and goal shooter providing an important role in rebounding on both the offensive and defensive sides of the court, which were key in stopping any outbreaks of Hull closing in on the gap. But Teesside showed their purpose of going out how league champions should do, and it was clearly apparent why the team were at the top of the table, with little fouls and errors through their game plan allowed them to not only sweep past Hull, but in a seemingly relaxed fashion. Goal defender and captain Charlotte Barron was on form to provide an excellent set of passes that would lead to many of the points scored for Teesside. After the game finished 44-28 to Teesside, Charlotte Barron and chair of the team Chantel Bowie gave their post-match thoughts and how they will look to continue this momentum to beat varsity rival Sunderland in this year's Tees Weir varsity.
So how does it feel to win the league?
Really good, yeah, because we haven't even been promoted for I think it was 6 years, so now we've got a pretty good first team. It is good that we're going to go up to the next league. And we've got really far. We went through 3 rounds. Yeah, that hasn't been done for a while. I think it was like 8 years.
So we've had a really good season this year.
Yeah.
I've been promising for we've got promotion now.
Yeah. So you say you've not had a good team for a while, so obviously winning all those games it must feel really good to do that, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we've won. We're well ahead of the points.
Yeah, it was like quite a big lead as well. It wasn't that we just got it. Like we did pretty well with all of our matches. I think we lost 1 and that was it.
Yep. So obviously a winning season. Are you looking to finish it off at Tees Weir varsity this year?
Definitely.
Yes. It's not a promotion for the win varsity. No. Definitely.
And what are your preparations for varsity? Just go in as normal, or any differences for siblings?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got a big team going, so
I'm going to take the net and I think that's
yeah.
And elsewhere in Unisport, We start with the ladies hockey. The first team picked up a 2-1 win over Sheffield Hallam seconds. In football, it was a busy week this week, with the women's first team picking up a comprehensive 8-3 win over Newcastle second team. The second team of the ladies didn't field a team, so Durham were awarded the walkover win. The men's first team didn't fare so well, going down 5-1 to Newcastle seconds. The second team went down 4-1 at the hands of Huddersfield, and the third team did, however, pick up a 5-1 win at Hull's third team. In tennis, the men's first team were unable to field a side against Sunderland, who were again awarded the walkover. Onto squash, and the men's first team picked up a 2-1 win over Leeds Trinity. Unfortunately, the playoff dream did end for the American football team, suffering a heavy defeat against Newcastle. And finally, onto basketball, the men's first team went down 68 to 55 at the hands of Leeds University seconds. Back to Sam in the studio.
Sadly, 2 Middlesbrough fans lost their lives on Thursday following a car crash. Borough fans sent their respects during Saturday's win over Barnsley and applauded when Adama Traore scored in the 17th minute. And that is all we have time for in this week's episode of The North Stand. See you, same time, same place next week for our varsity special.